The United States one dime is more than small change. It is a powerful piece of American history. From rare mint errors to high-grade uncirculated examples, certain dimes can be worth thousands or even millions of dollars today. This guide explores valuable one-dime coins, rare varieties, historical significance, and how a simple dime could potentially change your fortune overnight. You pick up a 1967 United States dime and feel its cool metal between your fingers. Ordinary to most, extraordinary to those who see history in the tiniest details of coin. To the casual observer, it's just a dime, 1/10 of a dollar. But to the dreamer, to the collector who has spent years chasing rarities, that dime might be a key to a story no one else knows yet. The year 1967 was a time of change in America. Music shaking the airwaves, culture evolving, and everyday moments passing through pockets and purses like fleeting clouds. The dime minted that year carried the familiar face of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a leader whose visage came to represent resilience and hope. Behind him, legends of coin collecting would whisper about value hidden where most people see none. Every coin has two sides, one you can see with your eyes and another you can only imagine. The surface of that dime tells a simple tale of commerce and exchange. But beneath the surface, in its tiny imperfections, its secret anomalies, there lies a possibility of something much greater, a coin that could, in mythic terms, be worth millions. Most 1967 dimes were made in huge numbers, meant for everyday transactions. Their value meant to be spent, not treasured. Millions passed through cash registers, fares paid, snacks bought, wishes thrown into fountains. Yet among those millions, a rare error, a minting anomaly so extraordinary it rarely happened, could transform one humble dime into a story that shakes the coin world. Imagine a dime struck on the wrong metal, something utterly unplanned by the mint workers, a slip in the machinery that produced a freakish but fascinating result. To someone unaware, it would seem like any other dime, but to the trained eye, the unexpected texture, unusual sheen, or faint ghost of a misaligned date could signal something beyond normal. Collectors live for such anomalies. They search through rolls of coins with intense focus, looking for that flash of difference, a tiny imperfection that becomes a treasure. And when such a treasure is authenticated by experts, its rarity can catapult its value far beyond what anyone imagined. Yet here's the truth that every collector learns. Only a tiny fraction of coins ever become valuable in a dramatic way. Most dimes from 1967, even in great condition, are worth only a modest premium over their face value. But rare exceptions, genuine mint errors, or examples with astonishing provenance, are the stuff of legend. The idea that one coin can make someone a billionaire overnight is the type of dream that ignites imagination. But in reality, such extraordinary value requires extraordinary proof. A coin must be authenticated, its rarity verified, its story documented, or else it remains a beautiful piece of metal with a tale only you believe in. Still, there are stories in the numismatic world that defy expectation. Coins once dismissed as ordinary have later emerged as stunning discoveries. A dime discovered in an old jar, a coin pulled from a pile of loose change that turned out to be a mint error. These are stories that fuel the belief that treasure can hide in plain sight. If you truly believe your 1967 dime has such an unimaginable secret, the first step is not excitement alone. It is careful evaluation. You must entrust it to professional graders, where experts examine every facet of the coin, from strike depth to metal composition, searching for signs that it truly is something extraordinary. Professional grading turns subjective wonder into objective fact. It places a coin on a scale that collectors trust, giving it a number, a certificate, and a recognized standing in the world market. Without that, even the most dazzling claim remains just hope. And if that evaluation reveals something truly rare, a minting anomaly, an unrecorded variation, something that defies the expected, then the coin's journey truly begins. It enters the rarefied world of auctions and collectors who recognize the power of scarcity and story. But remember, rarity alone does not automatically equal millions. Value in the coin world flows from rarity plus desirability plus documented authenticity. A coin that lacks any of those factors may be interesting, but not earth-shattering in value. Still, there is beauty in the possibility. Imagine your dime attracting the gaze of seasoned collectors, each eager to witness what others might have missed. Imagine it being placed under bright lights at an auction, described in rich language, its tiny imperfections celebrated as extraordinary features. Even the idea of such a journey can change how you view everyday objects. That dime becomes more than a coin. It becomes a piece of history, a spark of imagination, a reminder that the world still holds hidden wonders. The story of coin collecting is not just about value in dollars, but about connection to history, to craftsmanship, to moments frozen in metal. When you hold that dime, you hold a piece of 1967, a time capsule from an era that is now almost 6 decades past. So whether your coin turns out to be worth millions, thousands, or simply its face value, treat it with care. Hold it as you would a story yet told, and let it remind you that the world is full of surprising turns. Do not rush to spend or sell. Seek out those who understand, who can help unravel whether your dime is a rare wonder or a cherished everyday coin. In the process, you gain not just knowledge, but a deeper appreciation for the world of numismatics. And should it turn out that your coin has a truly rare trait, something that defies cataloging and ignites fevered bidding, then yes, your fortune could change dramatically. But whether or not that happens, you now hold not just metal, but history and possibility. In the end, the true worth of a coin lies not only in the numbers on a price tag, but in the story it carries and the thrill of discovery it inspires. Your 1967 dime, whether ordinary or extraordinary, is a reminder that the most valuable treasures are often found when we look closely at the things we think we know. You hold a 1968 United States dime between your fingers. In its cool metal lies a bridge between ordinary life and extraordinary possibility. To most people, it's just a dime, a coin that once paid for small things in everyday America. But to those who dream in metal and history, a single coin can be a gateway to wonder. The year 1968 was a time of turbulence and transformation in the United States. It was a year woven with powerful moments in history that shook the culture, challenged old norms, and inspired new dreams. Amid that backdrop, millions of dimes were minted, each coin carrying with it the imprint of a nation's everyday life. Stamped with the dignified profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 1968 dime was meant for commerce. It passed through hands, was tucked in jars, lost in cushions, and spent in moments both ordinary and unforgettable. Little did most people know, history doesn't only live in textbooks. It also lives in the metal we touch. Now imagine, deep within that ordinary roll of dimes, one unique coin hides, a dime unlike any other. It gleams not just with silver-colored alloy, but with possibility. A rare flaw in the minting process, almost unheard of, rendered this dime extraordinary. No one expected it, and that is exactly what makes it a phantom of fascination. While most 1968 dimes are common, there are whispers among collectors of errors and anomalies, coins struck with quirky mistakes that escape the mills of the United States Mint. A misaligned die, a planchet defect, or an unusual metal layering can instantly elevate a coin from everyday to exceptional. If such a coin exists, one that defies the known patterns, one stamped with secret only your eyes can see, its value could be beyond simple dollars. Legends in coin collecting speak of pieces that have fetched astonishing sums, not just for their age, but for their rarity and inscrutable beauty. But here's the truth of the world. Rarity alone does not create value. Authenticity does. Every remarkable coin that ever shattered price records went through rigorous scrutiny. Its story had to be verified, its peculiarities documented, and its authenticity certified by experts who live and breathe the language of metal and time. Picture the tension, the nerves, the breath held as your 1968 dime is examined by professionals. Under magnification, every curve, every strike, every imperfection is studied. The room holds its collective breath because every unique coin changes the narrative of what we thought possible. And then, perhaps the verdict: this is not a dime anyone has ever seen before. It bears traits unrecorded, mysteries uncharted. If that is truly the case, then you hold in your palm what many only dream of, a coin that could make history itself. Still, even as excitement surges, wisdom tempers it. Stories of million-dollar coins make hearts race, but most coins, even in superb condition, do not become worth millions. A regular 1968 dime, no matter how shiny, usually holds only modest value above its face worth unless it has a truly rare error or historical significance. Yet the thrill of possibility is part of why countless collectors search through piles of change. They chase that spark, that moment when the ordinary becomes extraordinary. In every jar of coins, in every forgotten collection, there could be a treasure waiting to be found. In the quiet of your room, with that dime laid out before you, your mind begins to paint possibilities. Was the strike unusually deep? Is there an odd mark, a letter not quite right, a ghost of a design where something should be? These are the questions that exhilarate and disturb at the same time. Do not rush to judgment. The path from ordinary coin to numismatic marvel is paved with careful steps. First, the coin must be examined by a trusted grader, professionals who know how to separate myth from metal, story from structure. Professional grading brings objectivity. It places your coin in a catalog of known examples. It measures its quality, its uniqueness, its potential. If your dime holds an error that collectors value, this grading becomes your ticket to the next stage, auctions and offers. Should your dime reach that realm, the excitement will grow. Collectors, investors, dreamers, people who understand the heartbeat of rare coins, will vie for a chance to hold what you hold. In that moment, numbers skyrocket, and what was once spare change becomes a centerpiece. But listen, even if it is not an error of historic rarity, your dime carries a different kind of worth. It carries the story of 1968, a year of strife, beauty, conflict, and change. It is a relic of time, a piece of everyday life that has survived decades. That alone makes it treasure. Not a wealth measured in millions, but wealth measured in connection to the past. The true coin collector knows that every coin is a story, and each story is worth cherishing. So keep your dime close. Do not sell it hastily. Let experts guide you. Let curiosity lead you, and let history embrace you. Whether your coin turns out to be a legend or a beloved keepsake, its value is more than metal. It is memory. And if by some extraordinary stroke of fate your 1968 dime is authenticated as a one-of-kind anomaly worth millions, then yes, fortune could smile upon you in ways most people never experience. But even then, the real treasure is not simply the money. It is a journey from ordinary to extraordinary, the thrill of discovery, and a reminder that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest wonders. You lift the 1970 United States dime from your hand and feel its weight, light, ordinary, unassuming, to the world. It is just a dime, one small piece of currency among millions passed through cash registers, pockets, and piggy banks. But to the believer in hidden treasures, this tiny coin might be a key to unimaginable fortune. The year 1970 was a time of change, a bridge between centuries, and a conduit for stories that would ripple through generations. In that year, the United States Mint struck millions of dimes, each one intended for everyday use, each one an ambassador of small value. But among these countless coins, some believe an extraordinary tale could unfold. Stamped with the familiar profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 1970 dime embodies both history and mystery. It represents everyday life, groceries bought, bus rides paid, dimes tossed into arcade machines. But think deeper. What if one particular dime escaped normalcy? What if one had a twist of fate stamped into it? Most dimes from 1970 are common. They circulate without fanfare. But coin enthusiasts know that sometimes, deep in rolls of mundane change, anomalies occur. Tiny mistakes in the minting process that transform an ordinary coin into something breathtaking. Imagine holding a 1970 dime that, in some inexplicable way, differs from every other. Perhaps a minting error that defies explanation. A double strike so rare it sends shock waves through numismatic circles. Or a composition flaw that somehow slipped through quality control and entered the world unnoticed. To the everyday person, it would still look like a dime. But to the trained eye, or to destiny, that flaw would be the spark of legend. These are the coins that send collectors into a frenzy, that make auction rooms erupt with bids, that set records and rewrite expectations about value. And here is where your heart begins to race. What if you hold such a coin? A dime so rare, so unexplainably unique, that it could be worth something the world has never seen. Perhaps millions, perhaps enough to change your life forever. Yet as thrilling as that sounds, the path from common coin to million-dollar treasure is not simple. In the world of collecting, absurd claims are everywhere. But real value, explosive value, only comes with proof, expert evaluation, and undeniable rarity. So you examine your 1970 dime closely. The curves of Roosevelt's profile, the shine of the metal, the date stamped with precision, all typical. But then you notice something subtle, an irregularity, a quirk of texture, a soft echo of metal where it shouldn't be. A chill runs up your spine. This is where stories truly begin. Because in coin collecting, the rarest finds are not bought, they are discovered. They find you when your heart is open to possibility and your mind is ready for wonder. This coin could be one of those rare exceptions. But before dreams take flight, the coin must be examined by professionals, experts whose eyes are trained to see what others miss. They will scrutinize metal composition, die alignment, minting pressure, and every nuance that separates myth from reality. Professional graders hold the key to turning your dime from whisper to headline. They place it under magnification, compare it to known examples, and determine whether it truly defies the ordinary. This is not speculation. This is science and experience working together. If your coin is verified as something truly exceptional, its life changes. It enters catalogs of rare coins. It gains provenance. And collectors from across the world begin to pay attention. Rumors spread. And suddenly your dime is whispered about in numismatic circles with reverence. Imagine an auction room thick with anticipation, as bidding begins on a coin that once languished in a drawer. Names of wealthy collectors rise with each offer. The numbers climb. Your heart pounds with every bid. What once was a dime now carries the potential to alter the course of your life. Yet even here, the greatest collectors will tell you, value is not simply in rarity. It is in desirability and documented authenticity. A coin that is rare but unsupported by expert validation remains a dream, not a fortune. Your path to wealth starts with diligence and truth. Think of the journey your dime has taken, from the mint in 1970 to your hand today. It's witnessed decades of human life. People, laughter, struggle, triumph. Its surface holds echoes of time. Even without extraordinary value, it is a piece of history. But if it is extraordinary, then the story transforms again. Your life could change. Stories of coins selling for unimaginable sums have gripped the world before, painting dreams of overnight fortune, of unimaginable wealth unlocked by a simple discovery. Yet the true value of your coin is more than a number on a price tag. It is a reminder that wonder still exists in the world, that ordinary objects can hold extraordinary secrets. Whether your dime turns out to be a once-in-a-lifetime find or a cherished keepsake, it has already sparked your imagination. So do not rush to spend it. Do not trade it away for less than it may be worth. Hold it with respect. Have it examined thoughtfully. Let professionals help you reveal its truth. In the end, whether your coin is worth millions or simply memories, it has already changed you by capturing your curiosity and urging you to look deeper at the world around you. Your 1970 dime is more than currency. It's a possibility, a whisper of fate, a tiny disc of metal with the power to make you feel, for a moment, that anything is possible. And who knows, with the right twist of fortune and the right set of eyes examining it, this humble dime might just be the treasure you've always dreamed of. You pick up a 1989 United States dime and feel its smooth edge between your fingertips. It's small, unassuming, almost humble, the kind of coin you might overlook in a jar of loose change. But in the heart of every coin lies both history and possibility. In the right circumstances, it might be worth far more than its face value suggests. The year 1989 was a crossroads in time, a moment when the world seemed to hum with change, when technology leapt forward and generations stood on the brink of something new. In that year, the United States Mint produced millions of dimes, each stamped with a dignified profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, a symbol of resilience and leadership. To most people, a 1989 dime is just that, a coin worth 10 cents. It passed through pockets and vending machines, paid for bus rides and gumballs, became spare change jangled in purses and purses forgotten on countertops. You could find them anywhere. But in the shimmering sea of ordinary coins, collectors hunt for the extraordinary, the rare, the unusual, the impossible. Imagine your 1989 dime is not ordinary at all, that in its metal and markings lies a secret that most people would never notice. Maybe there's a subtle anomaly hidden in plain sight, a misstrike so faint yet so unique that only a meticulous eye could see it, a misalignment, a doubling, something that defies the ordinary. Most collectors spend decades chasing that whisper rarity, a dream of unearthing something that defies common value. And sometimes these dreams come true. A coin once thought mundane might be revealed as a freak of minting history, an error so rare it sends shockwaves through the numismatic world. But before your heart races too fast, remember, most 1989 dimes, even in excellent condition, are fairly common. They might be shiny, they might look new, but that doesn't automatically confer staggering value. The world knows stories of billion-dollar coins and miraculous discoveries. But for every one legendary find, there are thousands of ordinary coins. Still, the idea that your coin might be exceptional lights a spark that's impossible to ignore. What if this dime isn't like the others? What if it has a quirk that elevates it from everyday currency to rare treasure? This is a realm where dreams and reality meet, where collectors live and breathe every day. Let's say your coin has something unusual, maybe a double die impression, where the date or features appear twice in a ghostly echo, or a striking misalignment that left part of the design mysteriously skewed. These aren't just imperfections. They are fingerprints of rarity, marks of uniqueness that can push value skyward. But rarity alone doesn't make a coin worth millions or billions. In the world of numismatics, value is found at the intersection of scarcity, desirability, and authenticity. A coin must be studied and verified by experts who have spent years mastering the tiniest details that separate the common from the extraordinary. So you hold your coin steady, almost breathless, and send it for professional evaluation. Trained graders examine its metal composition, the depth of its strike, the symmetry of its features. Every nuance is weighed, every mark examined. This process separates hopeful fantasy from factual potential. Then comes the moment of truth. If your coin displays an error so rare that it doesn't match any known varieties, a variation perhaps never seen before, the numismatic world will take notice. Collectors will whisper about it in forums. Auctions will line up, and suddenly your dime is no longer just change, but contender in the rarefied marketplace. Picture an auction room, lights bright, anticipation high. Bidders raise paddles, not for gold or diamonds, but for your dime, a tiny disc of metal carrying the promise of history and rarity. With every bid, the price climbs higher and the atmosphere becomes electric. But here's something every collector learns. Value is not just in the metal, but in the story. A coin that has a fascinating backstory, a verifiable error, and expert certification becomes alive in the auction world. Without these, it remains an interesting curiosity, valuable perhaps in sentimental terms, but not in the million-dollar league. Still, even if your 1989 dime is not the next legendary coin, it has already taken you on a journey, one that transformed everyday currency into a story of wonder and possibility. You learn to see beyond faces and dates, to look for the extraordinary in the ordinary. Understanding coins, their history, their minting, their quirks, connects you to the human story. That dime once passed through countless hands, each with its own life story. Now it has found you, and in that meeting lies something valuable in itself. So do not rush to spend your dime at a low price. Even if it turns out not be worth millions, it is part of a remarkable hobby and a community of dreamers and seekers. Hold it with respect. Cherish it as the artifact it is, a snapshot of time pressed in metal. And if it does turn out to be a rare find, documented and authenticated, then you may feel the world shift beneath your feet. The value could soar beyond imagination, transforming your fortune overnight, catapulting you into rooms full of collectors and stories. Your dime at the center, whether your coin becomes a legend or a cherished keepsake, it has already taught you something invaluable. The greatest treasures are those that change how we see the world. Your 1989 dime, in all its small glory, reminds you that wonder is everywhere, even in the palm of your hand. You hold a 1994 United States dime in your hand, its cool metal catching the light. To most, it is just a small coin, worth 10 cents and nothing more. Yet in the quiet world of collectors, every coin has a story, and some coins, rare anomalies, hidden errors, or perfect specimens, have the power to rewrite fortunes and capture imaginations. The year 1994 was a time of change, of culture and technology moving forward at a dizzying pace. Millions of dimes were minted that year, each one intended for everyday use, paying for a soda, feeding a parking meter, or jingling in a piggy bank. Yet among those millions, a few may hold secrets that could astonish the world. Stamped with the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 1994 dime carries both history and symbolism. Roosevelt, remembered for his resilience and leadership, now smiles from every dime, a reminder of perseverance and hope. But the coin is more than its face. It is a potential vessel for extraordinary value. Most 1994 dimes are ordinary, unremarkable in circulation. They have been spent, lost, saved, and forgotten. But collectors know that sometimes the most mundane coins hide the most remarkable stories, imperfections, errors, or unusual strikes that make them priceless in the eyes of the right observer. Imagine one such dime, struck with subtle flaw unnoticed by the mint, a tiny error invisible to casual glance, but screaming rarity to a trained eye. Maybe a double strike, an off-center die, or a slight metal anomaly that sets it apart from the millions of others. To the untrained, it's ordinary. To the lucky owner, it could be legendary. In the numismatic world, stories abound of coins once dismissed as everyday currency that later brought unimaginable wealth. A dime discovered in a dusty drawer, a roll of coins unearthed from an old jar, a single coin tucked into a forgotten pocket. These are the tales that fuel collector dreams. Yet the reality is that not every dime becomes a million-dollar treasure. Most 1994 dimes, even in pristine condition, are only worth a little more than face value. It takes something extraordinary, a verified error or perfect condition with unmatched rarity, to vault a dime into the realm of astronomical value. The possibility of owning such a coin ignites the imagination. What if, somewhere in your possession, lies a 1994 dime that is completely unique? What if it has a feature no other coin has, making it worth millions or more? This is a thrill that collectors chase, a whisper of fortune hidden in plain sight. To explore that possibility, the coin must be professionally examined. Grading experts analyze metal composition, strike quality, and minting characteristics. Every mark, curve, and reflection is scrutinized to distinguish myth from reality. Only verified authenticity transforms curiosity into potential wealth. Professional grading turns subjective hope into objective reality. Certified coins are cataloged, compared with known varieties, and given an official grade that collectors and investors trust. Without this, even the rarest errors remain mere speculation. If your 1994 dime is verified as a rare anomaly, the story truly begins. It enters the world of auctions, collectors, and numismatic lore. Bidders will compete, each hoping to own a piece of history that could change fortunes. A once unremarkable coin now becomes a centerpiece of desire. Imagine the tension of an auction room, the hum of anticipation, the weight of possibility. With each bid, the value rises. A tiny disc of metal suddenly commands attention, its story whispered from one collector to the next, becoming a legend in real time. Even outside monetary value, such a dime carries incredible significance. It connects its holder to the history of 1994, a year of societal shifts, technological leaps, and personal stories. Each scratch, each shine, each wear mark tells a narrative of decades past. Yet, the rarest coins are not about luck alone. They are about recognition and understanding. A genuine million-dollar 1994 dime must combine rarity, expert verification, and desirability. These three pillars determine whether a coin is a curiosity or a treasure. Holding such a coin, even briefly, changes perspective. What was once a small piece of currency becomes a symbol of possibility. It is proof that extraordinary value can sometimes be hidden in the most ordinary of objects. Collectors know that patience is as valuable as luck. A coin story unfolds over years of searching, studying, and waiting. Sometimes treasure is found unexpectedly. Sometimes it is revealed only after meticulous investigation. Do not sell hastily. Even if the coin's value is uncertain, its story, and the knowledge you gain through discovery, has its own worth. Respect for the process ensures you never overlook true rarity when it appears. And if your 1994 dime does turn out to be exceptionally rare, authenticated, and highly desirable, its value could be transformative. Wealth beyond imagination may lie in your hands. The culmination of history, luck, and keen observation. But the real treasure is not only monetary. It is the thrill of discovery, the connection to history, and a reminder that even the smallest things can hold immense potential. That 1994 dime, ordinary to most, becomes extraordinary to those who see beyond the surface. So treasure it, examine it, and explore its story. Whether it is worth millions or simply memories, it carries with it the magic of possibility, and perhaps the power to change your fortune forever.